Duncan said something just before we pitched up at the microphone. Hi, Hayley.
Hello.
Hello. I say hi to you like that because Duncan is sat next to me in the studio down here on the south coast, and you are in beautiful Somerset on a lovely day.
I am. I can see sheep, little lambs, cute little lambs.
Oh.
Walking up and down a hill in the sunshine.
Do people in Somerset walk around saying ooh-ah, ooh-ah?
Ooh-ah.
Some of them do. I don't think I do. Some of them
It's
do.
an interesting topic, really, because I remember the first time we went on holiday to Cornwall, which seems to me like a foreign country, and many who live there think it should be.
Yeah.
And many who live here think it should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I remember that we were referred to as Emmets.
Yes.
Oh, you've come across this?
Well, Tamar, isn't it? It's
I
called
don't know.
Tamar. Is it the River Tamar? I think it is. That goes from...
Sounds likely. Sounds likely.
Yeah.
But you were either an Emmet or a Grockle. And I never worked out which was best or worst. But we don't have, where I live, Duncan lives, we don't have any names for visitors. But then we don't get so many visitors. I expect you do, don't you, Hayley? A beautiful part of the world like that. You're always getting people, coaches.
Yeah, but only in the summer, which
Only in
is
the summer.
interesting.
Yeah, are they sought after by the local businesses or are they generally viewed as a nuisance?
Oh, no, they love them because it's what keeps it going, really. It's a tourist place, isn't it? That without the tourists, there's not really much income, you know.
Yeah.
I tell you what makes me smile, particularly in the summer months, and you see it all over the place, not just in Sussex or the southwest or elsewhere, are pubs. And let's remember now that the pubs are closing for all kinds of reasons. There aren't as many pubs as there used to be. But what makes me smile, and also, whilst I get it to a degree, I think, well, come on, is when, particularly in the summer months, you drive past maybe a countryside pub in the Surrey countryside or the Hampshire countryside or possibly the Somerset countryside, and outside there's a sign that says no coach parties. And, well, you can't have it both ways, can you? Because the argument from the landlord or landlady or the people who run the pub is, if we have 75 people all turn up at once wanting their ploughmans, we simply don't have the staff to cater for them, which I'm sympathetic to. However, the flip side of that is, it's summer, it's probably your busiest trading period. Do you really want to turn away a coach party, which would give you a load of custom?
Yes.
No coach parties.
When was the last time you got on a coach, Hayley?
Oh.
Ah.
You know, I do know actually about 2 years ago I went to see something called the Thursford Spectacular, which is in Norfolk, which is a big Christmas, like an annual event they do, and it's been going on for like 100 years or something. It's a traditional thing. But yeah, I had to get a coach from London to Norfolk and back. It was a very long day, but very worth it though.
What happens?
Basically, Britain's Got Talent, but old school. So lots of jugglers, singers, dancers, comedians. It's even got one of those compères. And that's what I was going to say, is that old school compères are just a wonderful memory for me because they don't have them anymore. If say you just go and see a comedian now, that's all you see. You just go and see the comedian. Where like when I was growing up, you'd always have a compère that would like rev up the audience, wouldn't they? They'd warm up the audience and then bring on the main event. And that's what this thing is like. It's still very old school like that, which I absolutely love. Because I don't know if a compère role still exists, does it? Do we get compères? I don't know.
The circus ringmaster, as he was called, because it was a he. Well, I did go to one circus, and it was a she.
Oh.
She was dressed like a tiller girl.
Oh, my word.
With fishnet stockings and top hat and tails.
Wow.
And it was, there was something, you know...
Did you have a whip?
Yeah. It was going down that road.
Wow.
A bit of Sally Bowles in Cabaret.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that which is very fetching. Goodness only knows why. But as Betjeman, or was it Larkin, pointed out, a woman in a man's hat is very arresting, I think he called it.
Yeah.
Anyhow, the ringmaster, I think, turned into the compère once circuses began to decline and holiday camps took over. I did a bit of it myself when I was a redcoat. I quite enjoyed it, introducing all the acts.
I think I don't know Norfolk that well, and forgive me, Hales. Is it in a seaside destination?
No, it's quite inland.
Oh, okay.
No.
'Cause I think maybe in certain counties, if you've got seaside kind of venues like, I'm just trying to think, places like Worthing and the Pavilion Theatre at the beginning of the pier. You can imagine there's still a place for a compère if it's a night of different turns on stage doing stuff. You actually need one, don't you, really? If it's 6 to 8 acts, you really need some glue to hold it all together and to warm the audience up to begin with. You can't go in cold. You can't have just all of a sudden the curtains go back and there's some bloke sticking his head in a lion's mouth. You need a bit of a preamble.
You do a preamble, exactly right. And I suppose the thing that the compère turned into was do you remember? We don't get them anymore. Continuity announcer.
Yeah,
that was the glue in the schedule, wasn't it?
Oh,
yeah.
And it was often a disembodied voice.
I think this is really interesting. So, Hales, are you old enough to remember? I am just. Tommy will remember when the person or the voice, you could see the person behind the voice who linked the programs together. Do you remember seeing that at all, Hayley, when you were a bit younger?
Oh, no, I've only heard them audially. Yeah. No, I've never seen them.
You see, I remember it just about. So down on the south coast, what did we have? We had Southern Television. I can't speak today. Southern Television that then became TVS. And I remember quite clearly there was a man.
What was his name? Because I'll tell you.
Oh, hang on.
Give up.
Is it a Derek?
Peter Marshall.
Oh, okay.
Does that ring a bell? No, it doesn't.
Very vaguely.
Very vaguely.
Who am I thinking of? No, I'm not. So, and they would be in shot, and they would be wearing a suit and a tie, or maybe a blazer, shirt and tie behind the desk, and they would tell you what's coming up this evening.
That's it.
And it would be in shot.
The schedule.
And, but that it doesn't exist now. At least I don't think it does, which is a shame.
I've mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again because it's so damn good. Peter Marshall, we were students and we were watching right until the screen went black and disappeared into a tiny little white dot. And Peter Marshall had just said, "That's about it for ITV for another evening. Remember to turn your television set off and as an added precaution, pull the plug out from the wall." So we just sat there because,
Brilliant.
Anyway, about 30 seconds later, he came back on again, sound only, and he just went, "You haven't turned it off yet, have you?" And that was when a penny dropped for me. I thought,
I love that.
People like a little bit of edge, a little bit of anarchy. And it was one of the best things I've ever seen. Well, I didn't see it, I heard it on television. But I know what I wanted to ask you, though, Hayley, about your coach trip. Was it full? Was the coach full? Who were you sitting next to? Who was behind you? Did you overhear any conversations? Was there a toilet?
Oh, gosh, I wouldn't ever go on a coach toilet, not if you paid me.
You wouldn't go to a toilet?
I'd hold it until we stopped at the service station.
You see, I used to go to away games. And we used to have to assemble at Craven Cottage, which was Fulham's ground, sometimes at midnight, and get on a coach because we're going up to Middlesbrough.
All right, so all of these blokes would turn up with 8 pints
exactly.
and a very, very full
exactly.
bladder, and they'd all use the loo on the coach.
No, there was no loo.
Oh, right, so you just pull over on the M1.
We had a song, and it went like this. Does the driver want a wee-wee? Does the driver want a wee-wee? And the driver knew that was us saying, find a lay-by.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's all you'd get at 2 o'clock in the morning. The other thing I remember is I was too young to drink. And on the way back, they always stopped at a pub and had 4 or 5 pints. And they had to bring me a pint in a pint mug in the car park. And so one of the Fulham supporters would do that. And I was always halfway through my pint when they came dashing out to get back onto the coach because they wanted to get back to Hammersmith before the fish and chip shops closed.
Yeah.
You see. And so I'd be sitting there on a bus with my pint and my stolen pub glass.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I built up a small collection of them. Yeah. I didn't intend to. I was an accidental thief.
Yeah.
But I did.
Yeah.
And there was something quite cherished about them. I said, oh, yes, that one was for Badger beer.
Yeah.
I got that on my way to Bristol.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
I accidentally, when I get a nice glass on holiday.
Well, you see, it's interesting. You talk about accidentally, and Tommy, you talk about not intentionally. I went through a phase with every objective to get as many beer towels as I could for my collection.
Beer towels?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
You still see them from time to time, but not necessarily as much as you used to. So you, in a bar, or a pub, I rarely would go to a bar, but in a pub, you would have on the bar these beer towels that might be maybe a foot in diameter and 2 foot long.
I just thought they were beer mats.
No, these are towels. And they'd be there, and someone would pour your pint and put your pint on the towel. So if it was overflowing a bit, you could wipe it.
And the bar wouldn't get wet.
Yeah. Or if someone had spilt a bit, you could use the beer towel to mop the bar.
Yes.
Right. What you seem to get now is you get these plastic trays.
Yeah.
Yeah. With sort of like about an inch deep, where someone can put your pint on it, and if anything's flowing, it will flow into the little tray. Didn't have those. These were beer towels.
You used to nick them.
Yeah. Because I had quite a collection. So if you are someone who used to run a pub in the Worthing area, circa 1989 to about 1998, and Fridays or Saturday nights, you kind of like locked up and you thought, our towels have gone missing. Where are they? There's a good chance
that
they're probably in my loft.
Yeah, I was going to say, what did you do with your contraband?
I love that, though.
Well, I had them in my bedroom to begin with. I just had a pile of them. Yeah, so these were branded, Tom. So
Yes,
if it was Badger
It's a nice
beer,
memory.
you'd have the
Yeah.
logo on there and stuff. If it was, a different brewery, you'd have their logos on. And I got up to about 25, 26 of them.
Did you not wash them? Put them through the washing machine?
No.
Did they not stink of cheap lager?
Yeah. It was just in a pile.
That's the whole point, though, isn't it? It's reminiscent. It's
I
nice.
used to have in my bedroom a trunk that I got from a second-hand shop, a proper old-fashioned trunk. And I used to just, I used to open it up and just chuck it in there. That's why I kept my fags.
What is this need to nick things?
I don't know. But it gets us nicely into, we're going to talk about nicking things, right? Surely, at some point in your life, you came back to probably a flat when you were young, free and single, because you wouldn't do it when you're a little bit more grown up, with possibly a road cone
A road cone, yeah.
or a traffic sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you'd put it on the head of a local dignitary, a statue to a local dignitary, or even a statue to war dead.
Yeah.
But that was definitely what students used to do.
I used to have two. There was...
I don't believe you did that in Worthing, surely.
Oh, no, it was a little... Well, this is where it gets interesting. So occasionally we would go out of Worthing and we'd go into the countryside, so one of the Sussex villages. And there's a pub still there now in Angmering. I've forgotten its name. It'll come back to me in a second. And next to it was a field, and there was a DIY sign by a farmer, like a green bit of wood, and he chiselled on to this particular sign something along the lines of "sheep roam here." And I decided one night I quite fancied it. So I tried to wrench it off this wooden post. But as you know, when you pull nails out of a bit of wood and they've been in there for a while, they don't come easily. So you could hear this as I nicked it. And then my obsession with sheep signs continued when we were out somewhere out the back of Brighton, Falking maybe, the Black Dog of Falking. I can't remember the name of the pub. There was a proper road sign of a red triangle with a sheep silhouette in the middle of it. What does that mean?
No idea. Sheep roaming.
Yeah, exactly. Beware of sheep.
Beware of sheep.
Yeah. So we got out. We got a spanner, took it off. This bit of metal, and it ended up in my mum's garage for about 10 years.
I've got a thing about signage. We'll talk about it another time because I'll be on it all day with you. But I'm always fascinated by particularly handmade signs that go up in radio stations' coffee points.
Ooh.
What do they usually say?
I don't know.
I'm going to show Duncan. This is annoying for you, Hayley. I beg your forgiveness. I'm going to show Duncan a photograph that I took in the foyer of our local Waitrose about 10 years ago, and I keep it on my phone. Describe it, if you would, Duncan. Describe it.
Well, it's an old-fashioned dustbin.
It's a dustbin, all right.
Either made out of metal or chrome or steel. Proper old-fashioned, with a lid that you lift off with a handle on the top. And then written on the sign that appears to be sellotaped to the lid is the following: "This is not a rubbish bin." What the hell was it used for?
Well, I investigated because it fascinated me. Because when I was an A-level art student, I wrote up on an exhibition that I'd been to see by a Belgian artist called René Magritte.
Right.
And he specialised in surrealist paintings. Mm-hmm. And I was fascinated by them. I couldn't quite get a handle on them. But he did a painting of a man. He did a painting of a pipe.
Right.
And the painting was called "This Is Not a Pipe."
Right.
And of course it's not a pipe. It's a painting of a pipe.
Yeah.
So it was right.
Yeah.
And I was so taken with whoever had made this sign and put it on a dustbin. Do you know what it contained? Coffee grounds.
Oh.
You were supposed to bring your coffee grounds
Yeah.
and put them in the dustbin.
Yeah.
But somebody at the shop found that some people were just chucking an empty coffee cup or something in there, and that was how they.
Well, fair enough, though.
Yeah, but
I mean, if it looks like a bin.
Yes, I know. But the sign should have said coffee grounds only.
Yeah.
Not this is not a dustbin.
Yeah.
Do you know how?
Do you know what, though? But that is something that I think is part of the English psychology.
Yeah.
Because I once witnessed in a pub one Friday lunchtime, great pub in Westminster. It's called The Speaker. It's on Great Peter Street, SW1. And I went through a phase of working late on the radio on a Thursday night, finishing my week's worth of shows, staying over and meeting some chums for beer and sandwiches. And on one occasion, me and another were at The Speaker in Great Peter Street. And at the time, this is going back before COVID, it was run by a bloke called Dennis, who's no longer there. But Dennis used to do, you could have Dennis's homemade pate. They would do a Thai green chicken curry that was homemade, but their pièce de résistance were big doorstep sandwiches. You could have cheese and onion, you could have beef and mustard, ham and mustard and stuff. And there's something quite delicious. And I think the point I'm trying to get to is I witnessed Dennis try. So a couple of young women came in with backpacks who were clearly tourists, and they went up to the bar and they said, "Hello, we would like some lunch, please. What do you have?" Now, instead of telling them what they could have, Dennis proceeded then to list what wasn't available because it had sold out.
That's clever.
Well, but it's the same mindset.
Yeah.
This is not a rubbish bin.
You
Instead
can't
of going,
have this, you can't have that, you can't have the other.
yeah, instead of saying on the bin,
Yes.
coffee grounds only, someone's
Yes.
written, this is not a rubbish bin. Well, what the hell is it then? In Dennis's mind, he's like, I'm going to tell you what you can't have.
There is a word for this. I'm just finishing Alan Bennett's latest collection of diary entries, and he talks about it. There's a word for it, and it has to do with saying what isn't. For example, Alan Bennett said, somebody asked him how he was, and he said, I said, not too bad. I replied, not too bad. This is Alan Bennett.
Yeah.
And he said, and this is a perfect example of telling you what is not the case.
Yes.
In order to suggest that the opposite
Yes.
is the case.
Yes.
And it's a known mindset. I presume, Hayley, you've got lots of signposts in and around your Glastonbury to little villages.
Yes, lots of
Beautifully
yes.
named villages, Little Pokesworth and places like that. I just made that up.
Do you know what I really like, which is I think quite old school, is these kind of poles that have the 6
Yes.
or 7 arrows on them, all facing different directions and saying like Brighton to,
Yeah.
whatever.
That
Like,
is
and
so
I feel they're
rural,
really
isn't
old school, and they're like before sat nav. They're so rural, but they're before sat nav. It's all about just having a gist of how far somewhere is, and that's as much as you get in that direction.
yeah.
2 miles. That's it.
Or just that style of post with not the distance, but just telling you the direction of a certain village. There's a great one in Kent. So if I'm thinking what you're thinking, Hayley, the kind of colour would be a black signpost, and the signs would be white, but the writing on the writing would be black. Yeah, so it'd be
And embossed.
embossed. So it would be black writing on a white background, and kind of like a bit of wood sticking out in the direction you're supposed to go. In Kent, there's one that on one side says ham,
Yeah.
and on the other side says sandwich.
Oh, brilliant.
Which one's a town and one's a village in Kent, which I think is magnificent. I'm surprised it's not been nicked.
That's brilliant.
I'd have that.
Yeah, I love that.
Have I told you? Do stop me if I start telling you things twice. But there's a book. I've got one of those funny books that you get for Christmas, which is just a collection of funny things. There's a photograph of a sign in the middle of a patch of grass, and all the sign says is it is illegal to throw stones at this notice. That's all it says. So I said to Jane, I think it probably had another sign above it that got taken down for whatever reason, or stolen or something, and they just left this sign saying it's illegal to throw stones at this notice. Jane and I went on a walking stroke cycling holiday in Dorset. It's a wrong county to do that in because it's too hilly. We got very, very tired and we got lost.
Oh.
And suddenly I saw a sign. This is a completely true story. In the middle of a field, right? And we couldn't read it because it was too far away. So I walked across the field. Guess what the sign said? Danger, minefield.
Right. I thought there might be a bull in.
No,
not
danger,
mine.
minefield, it said. Again, I'm standing there looking at it.
Well, hang
thinking,
on a
this has to be a
second.
joke.
Which part of Dorset is mined?
I think it was a training ground.
Right, I hope so.
I think it was for Navy SEALs, underwater demolition people or
Right.
something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then again, I thought to myself, well, maybe it's a joke.
That's a good. I might use that.
It's, So I...
Oh, do you know what? Then we haven't spoken about old school maps and how A to Zs and things. I remember having a little A to Z in my handbag, probably from the age of 16, I think, when I started going out on my own and venturing into the world alone. And I would literally have post-it notes on it. I would have highlighters that would highlight a particular road. And if I got out of the tube, I'd have third on the right, second road on the left. And if I was driving, I'd have this big, massive folded A to Z that would unfold and be the size of the car. You couldn't even unfold it. That was a funny bit when you wanted to get to a part that you couldn't get to because you didn't have enough room to open up the map.
Yes. How many accidents do you think were caused by people driving around London, which is pretty scary most of the time, with the A to Z bent backwards at the page you wanted on the steering wheel?
Yeah.
Because otherwise you'd be stopping every time.
Or on your lap. I used to have it on my lap.
Yeah.
I still got them.
I used to have it on my lap and look down every so often when I needed to know where I was going. I'd remember 2 bits of it. You'd remember, right, second on the right, second on the left. Then I need to look down again and look at where my next 2 turnings are.
I found my
How
A to Z
dangerous.
the other on my bookshelf.
Yes.
But it was hidden in between 2 books, so you couldn't see it straight away. So it was about the size of a smartphone.
Yes.
And when I started working in London in the world of public relations in the late 1990s, where our office was just off Sloane Square, opposite Peter Jones, on the 5th floor of this bizarre kind of set of offices above shops and stuff, I bought myself this little A to Z that really stood the test of time, because you'd go off for a potential client meeting and not have a bloody clue where you had to go. No. So you'd be sitting there trying to work it out. Do you know who I feel sorry for? There's quite a list, but in this particular case...
The third world must be on your list.
Yeah, they're just...
How long have you got? Yeah.
Just above black cab drivers.
I know what you mean when you say that, and everybody does.
Well, my main reason for feeling sorry for black cab drivers is that these great men, and they're mostly men, still will fork out several £1,000s and spend a couple of years doing the knowledge.
On a moped.
On a moped. You see them driving around, trying to memorise the routes, doing the knowledge so they can get their cherished green badge to drive their black cab, which is great. It's an iconic sight you see in London. But now...
Sat-nav.
Yeah.
It's great, isn't it?
GPS.
When was the last time you took a taxi, Hayley? Or do you take them all the time?
I actually got in a black cab last week.
Nice.
No, twice last week when there was a tube strike. And I wanted to throw myself off a bridge during the tube strike. Oh, gosh, so stressful. Do you know what? Every time I leave London, I know why. And I have to say, the thing about getting into a black cab, there's that confidence. Because although, yes, Uber drivers have sat-navs and it's all on the internet, there is that. I don't know about you, but I've been in a few Ubers where they're clearly only following the sat-nav. So the moment the sat-nav stops or goes wrong, that's it. They're completely stuck. Yeah. They have no plan B. Where the confidence you get when you sit down in the back of a black taxi is, I know I'm going to get to where I'm going. I don't have any doubt that I'm going to get to where I'm going in the quickest time possible. And I think that's what you pay for. So I know they're a little bit more expensive, but I think you get what you pay for.
Generally you do, don't you? Oh, do you take cabs much in town, Duncan?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
How do you... I'm going to guess. Hayley, let's have a guess. Let's guess how Duncan generally hails a black cab with a yellow light on it. I think he puts one foot in the gutter. I tended to do that. One foot in the gutter. And then put a hand up like a fascist...
You can't do that kind of salute anymore.
A fascist salute, but with the palm vertical, okay?
Okay.
And then just occasionally I will roar, because I like doing it.
Yeah.
Exit! Love it. Well, how do you do it, Duncan?
Well-
oh, no, Hayley, you have a guess.
Yeah, go on, Hales.
Yeah, I think he's got a hat on his head and he takes the hat off his head and you wave the hat around and that's how you get your taxi.
Only if the driver's
That's
Prince
what I think.
King Charles.
Well, do you know what? Both of you are partly correct.
Yes.
So if I have to go to London in the winter, I do wear a hat. But that's as far as that bit of your assessment is correct, Hales. And Tom, you're the bit that you got right. So when I get off the train at Victoria, there's a rank on one of the roads, so I don't have to hail. There's normally a queue there. But when if I have to hail, I don't put one foot in the gutter.
No.
But what I do, so if I'm on the pavement and the curb is, let's say, on my left-hand side, I lean out
Yeah,
from the curb,
Yeah,
slightly over the road.
yeah,
I don't do your slightly fascist salute.
yeah.
I put my hand up like a stop sign,
Right.
and if their window is open,
Yeah.
I go, mate.
Do you?
Yeah.
Where'd you get that from?
I just think it's a little bit more...
Mate?
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit more informal than shouting taxi.
Wow.
So I'm trying to build up a personal relationship before I'm actually in the cab.
Yes.
But if the window is up, I just tend to wave my hand as opposed to
Yes,
just having as a
yes,
stop sign.
yes,
So
yes.
yeah.
Hayley, we're now going to have to see if we can guess how you hail a black cab when you are in... Does any other city in
Oh, go on.
cabs?
Black.
Manchester?
Oh,
black cab?
yeah,
Liverpool?
yeah.
They do? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so Hayley, I think
I don't know.
I think she actually brings a great deal more authority to the activity than the elegant, genteel lady that we have known for a long time. So I think I think you shout taxi.
Yeah, I think you shout taxi.
I think you shout taxi. And put your hand up with just
I
your
do actually, you're right.
your index finger. Taxi.
No, I think she's a bit more aggressive.
Taxi.
I think it's like taxi.
No,
It's like,
no.
no, I think there's a bit of
That's Brian Blessed.
yeah, it is Brian Blessed. You're right. So how do you do it, Hales?
No, but you're right. I do tend to make a decision. Like, I'm very quick. Like, right, I want a taxi and I want it now. So I do shout. And if I see one, that's mine. I literally step in front of it. Like, I will make sure that it's like a survival of the fittest for me. It's like no one else is getting that taxi. I've made my decision. I'm getting in a taxi and I don't care who else is waiting. I'm having that taxi.
I hailed a cop car once, and I had to because a vehicle was behaving very dangerously about 800 yards up the road, and it had to be apprehended. And so I didn't know what to do. And then suddenly there comes a squad car with two big coppers in it, the other direction. So I shouted and pointed at the car as it was crawling past me. This was in Midhurst High Street, by the way.
Blimey.
I know. And I just went, stop, like that. And it wasn't me. I would never yell
Wow.
at a copper in a squad car like I did. Stop! And then I indicated that he had to turn round. I used my hand to make a letter U, indicating that this police car
forceful.
that I had just hailed does a U-turn, whether it likes it or not. So I think they must have seen from the look on my face, because I was petrified that this accident was going to happen, because this person was driving incredibly carelessly. And they did exactly what I said. I said, there's a lorry up there, a tractor with bales of hay on it, and somebody's going to get killed. And off they went. So that felt good. I can't do that with a taxi, though. I don't want to hurt their feelings. I apologised once to a taxi driver for the way in which I hailed him. I said, I'm sorry about that. That was most uncalled for. I whistled, because I've got a good whistle.
Bloody hell.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
That brings taxis running.
Yeah, and dogs.
And dogs.
And anyone else.
Yes. Well, we've just about run out of time, which is a shame. For all concerned, I hope, dear listener, that includes you. But we've got one or two bits and pieces of information, details, contact numbers and figures and things that Duncan knows off by heart and does so well.
Almost. Can we just say thank you to everyone who's subscribed to our YouTube channel? We're now on YouTube. You can listen to this podcast on YouTube. And it's Rambling Retro Nonsense. If you're able to hit the subscribe button when you're there, that is fantastic. Quite simply because it means whenever there's an update, you get informed. So if you are on YouTube listening to us right now and you've not yet subscribed, please do so. It's free. It doesn't cost you a penny. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, do check us out on YouTube as well. And if you want to get in contact, the email address is ramblingretrononsense@gmail.com. It's all one word, ramblingretrononsense@gmail.com. And you can WhatsApp us. Love getting your voice notes via WhatsApp. Love getting your messages on WhatsApp. The number is 07405 341 500. 07405 341 500. And if you are listening on Apple or Spotify, please like, share, subscribe and follow. Thank you.
Take care.